Hi, welcome to another episode of The Lab with Good Cubed Kitchen. Today, we're going to do something extremely simple. The real reason is I'm super tired. I've had a really long week, and sometimes at the end of the week, you don't want to spend a whole lot of time and energy making something to eat. Sometimes at the end of the day or in the middle of the day, you just want something quick, easy, delicious, and good for you. So, today we're going to do a very simple dish made with just things that I have in my refrigerator freezer. So we're going to do a chicken breast with a balsamic strawberry reduction. We're going to saute some spinach with some peppers and onions and butter. And that's it. No fuss, no muss. Super simple, super easy. So let's get started. First thing we're going to get started on is our balsamic reduction. I'm going to start with the reduction this time because, unlike the first time we made this reduction, I want it to go nice and slow. Because I am reducing fruit, I don't want to overcook it and cook it too high. So I'm going to put about a cup of balsamic vinegar into the small saucepan. And because I'm just cooking for one, which is extremely rare for me, I'm just going to use a small amount of strawberry and balsamic vinegar because I want this to reduce nice and slowly. I'm going to add over my monk fruit after it has begun to reduce. Off camera, I added over to the pot some crushed red pepper and some ground thyme. And now I'm going to put it on the back eye to simmer slowly. I want it to reduce by about half until it gets a thick, syrupy consistency. Return these to the refrigerator. Leave my monk fruit over by the stove. Now to get started on my chicken breast and my spinach. One of the best things I love about these steamer bags is that you can cut your time in half by just tossing them in the microwave. So I'm going to toss this in the microwave for about 4 to 5 minutes, depending on your particular microwave. Now to get started on my chicken prep. I want to give a shout out to the company Good Rancher. And the reason I want to shout them out is at the beginning of the pandemic, I was extremely uncertain about what was going to happen to me as being a substitute teacher. And so I was kind of worried, and I began doing what I always do when I am worried about money. I began to bulk up on food just in case. The vendor cut me a really great deal on about 40 pounds of chicken because he understood that as a substitute teacher, I didn't really know when my next check was going to be coming in. So shout out to you all. Gonna season the chicken real quick. It's a very simple seasoning mix. Some salt, some black pepper, some onion powder, and I'm gonna flip it over to the other side and give it the same treatment. Now, you'll notice that I'm not using any garlic in this particular recipe, and even though I'm a lover of garlic, I believe that the garlic will throw off the balance between the onion powder and the sweetness of the onions in the spinach. I heard my pot come to a much harder boil than I expected, so I'm going to give it a quick check. With my red spatula, I am going to stir it and see if its consistency is ready for my monk fruit. Returning it to the simmer eye and allowing it to simmer with the top on until I'm going to give my pan the old sizzle test, giving it just a splash of water to see how hot it is. Now that it is sizzling, I am going to put over about a tablespoon of butter. And I wanted the pan really hot because I want to get the butter just to about brown. I'm not going to let it brown all the way because I don't want the butter to outshine all the rest of the flavors, but I do want a bit of that nuttiness. So I'm going to add over to it some crushed red pepper, just enough to give the dish some warmth, but not enough for it to become spicy, allowing it to become fragrant in the butter. I'm now going to add over my peppers and onions, and I'm going to allow them to cook for about 3 to 4 minutes. Most cooks at this point would tell you to just let them defrost on their own, but I'm rather impatient. Now, this pepper and onion mix is one that you can pick up from Trader Joe's, but you can really get it at any store. Most grocery stores carry peppers and onions in their frozen section. Now that my peppers and onions are mostly defrosted, I'm going to add over some rosemary and my spinach. Because I already defrosted the spinach in the microwave, this will only take a couple of minutes to incorporate. I want to make sure that I scrape around the inside of the bag to get all of it, because no point in wasting. Going to add over some salt and pepper for taste. And now it's done. I preheated my griddle pan on high for about 10 minutes, and then I reduced the heat to medium. If you would like, you could keep your heat on high, but you'll have to flip it more constantly and watch it a bit more. Now I'm going to add over my monk fruit to my reduction. Because it's hot, the monk fruit isn't dissolving as quickly, but it will dissolve. Going to flip the breast over for the first time after about 3 minutes. After another 5 minutes, I'm going to flip the chicken over and begin saucing it with my reduction. Flipping it over again after 2 minutes, allowing just the reduction that was residual to coat both sides and get nice and sticky. And after about 12 minutes, my chicken breast is done. So here you have it, an extremely simple lunch meal or dinner. Let's give it a try. Thank the good Lord for good food and good times. All that good is good cubed. Amen. Mm. What I love about the composition of this meal is the balsamic reduction, because it's using monk fruit instead of sugar, is not extremely sweet. And because it's not extremely sweet and it has more of a tartness to it, it's a good counterbalance to the sweetness of the peppers and the onions and the spinach. So nothing on this plate is too sweet or too sour. Everything has a nice, balanced flavor. The onion was able, the onion powder was caramelized on the griddle. And so you get this little bit of bitter and sweet bite in it. The strawberries are pretty much reduced to a mash, but they've lent a really good flavor. And so this is a super simple dish that shouldn't take you more than 10, 15 minutes to make if you make it all at the same time really quickly. Mm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of The Lab with Good Cube Kitchen. Please follow me on all social media sites at Good Cube. That's GOODCUB 3D on all social media platforms. And join me on Sunday for our next episode of Good Cube Sundays. And as always, thank the good Lord for good food and good times. All that good is good cubed. Have a good weekend.